Willy Wonka, the amazing chocolatier.
That's the wrong version. What's up, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. The third incarnation of Willy Wonka is here. It's Timothée Chalamet this time. We're going to talk about it right now. With dreams of opening a shop in a city renowned for its chocolate, young and poor Willy Wonka discovers the industry is run by a cartel of greedy chocolatiers. This stars Timothée Chalamet, like I said, and is rated PG. For a little bit of violence and language, mild thematic elements, nothing too bad. This is a movie for the entire family. If you are a fan as an adult of Willy Wonka and your kids have never seen a version of the character, this may be the movie to introduce them to that character. And I say that because this is the origin story of Willy Wonka, at least how he came to be the Wonka that we know. It's told via musical, and there are a lot of entertaining musical numbers in there. Now, I saw the trailer for Wonka, and to be honest with you, I didn't really like it.
Nope, scratch that, reverse
I
it.
think Timothée Chalamet is really talented, but I just wasn't really buying the casting decision. I didn't know if he could capture the fun and quirkiness of this character that we know from other versions, but it's also, it's a new version. Technically, we have to introduce some new things to said character, and I believe he does that. Now, it did take me a few minutes to get on board because, again, I'm not completely vibing with it. But by the end of the film, I sat back and I said, you know what? Chalamet actually surprised me.
Well, what a surprise!
And the key to this movie, if you know nothing about it other than, well, it's a Willy Wonka origin story directed by Paul King. If you don't know who that is, have you ever seen Paddington or Paddington 2? Yeah, go watch those movies and then come back and tell me Paul King's not a good director. Because if you do, you're lying.
You son of a bitch.
Not going to throw him under the bus, but I do know someone who doesn't like the Paddington movies.
He stinks, and I don't like him.
All right, so you bring the charm and the warmth and the colorful nature of the Paddington franchise to the already colorful and quirky and very creative Willy Wonka franchise, and that makes for a marriage that I should have seen coming. I doubted this movie. And the first thing I told myself when the movie ended, I never should have doubted Paul King. Do not doubt Paul King. You'll end up in a place of regret and woe. Okay, it's not that bad, but this is genuinely one of the most charming, warming experiences I've had watching a blockbuster movie all year. And I believe the holiday time period in December, firmly before Christmas, is the perfect time to release Wonka, and it's going to have that greatest showman magic, I believe, or maybe it doesn't have the biggest opening of all time, but people are going to hear about how fun this film is, and they're going to go back and either see it again or tell other people it's pretty good. And I hope this is one that sticks around for a little bit because it's just a great family blockbuster experience. If you go into this wanting a darker and more serious take on Willy Wonka, that is not what this is. Don't look at Timothée Chalamet and think Dune, because it's not Dune. This is light, it's fluffy, it's fun, it's quirky, but it has the talent behind it in Paul King to make it something of quality and to allow it to say things, give us characters to root for, give us situations to root against, and a couple of villainous entities that are, again, they're a little over the top, are guys that come in and they're completely against Willy Wonka and his chocolates. This is not a place that you should try. I was trying to impersonate one of them, I think, but every actor in their role is so good, so funny. And the villains are really over the top. They absolutely are. But it fits, and it will actually have audiences, viewers, laughing as they're watching because of the comedic timing, the back and forth, the way that everyone interacts with each other, and the wonder. I want to say the childlike wonder, but that makes it sound like a negative. I think the childlike wonder of what Wonka brings to this town that is already known for its chocolates, but he brings something else. And the way people react to chocolate in this town. I want to live here. Please, because I do love chocolate, and their reactions mean a lot to me.
Chocolate!
Here's what surprised me most about Wonka, and I see it as a prequel. You can call it that or not, frankly. I don't care. Whatever world you want to connect this film to, I usually don't care about prequels. It feels like lately they've been better with Hunger Games and now this, but it has to feel warranted. It has to feel like it belongs. And the growth that Wonka gives to, obviously, its main character, but a couple of others that we'll talk about, and then the charm that comes from that, and I feel like everybody's using the same words here, charming, Whimsical, quirky. Guess what? There's only so many words you can use. Whimsical. I did it again. Chocolatier as Noodle, this is someone that Wonka meets when he first enters this city, and he's basically coming in with a couple of things here and there, and his knowledge and his skill set, that's about it. He's like, I'm here, I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to get rich. Or die trying. Now, there's more to him than that. He knows what he knows, but he doesn't know what he doesn't know. Noodle comes in and kind of helps him discover very simple things like learning how to read, but also helps him find himself along the way. And he opens up new possibilities for her when they, or he, get stuck in this place being ran by Olivia Colman, who is amazing. I mean, she's so fun and is over the top in the best way. She owned this character. It was so much fun. It's a villainous performance. Fun to watch. Oh, and Tom Davis, who's kind of like her right-hand man. Just a hilarious... The first time I hear his voice, I'm like, that's what he's doing the whole movie. And by the end, I'm like, I want more of them together. It was awesome. So you have those two, and then the very corporate and elite chocolatiers that do not want anyone interfering with their chocolate business. And that is obviously showing off this source material's disdain for the elite. Those at the tippy top, they don't even want to say the word poor, right? So it's very in your face and obvious, and again, using the phrase over the top, but those characters, their interactions, and you also have to at least kind of be a fan of musicals, because there is music throughout, and while not every musical number is super memorable, that's the knock I have on this as a musical, is I do wish there were one or two more that not that I didn't resonate with, but that I remember when the movie ends, because some of them I frankly forgot. And Chalamet's fine in that setting. The performance is good, not the most enriching voice I've ever heard. The dance numbers aren't crazy with him in them, but you know what? He did his job, what he needed to do, and he sufficed in that regard. But beyond that, he brought a compelling character. And this film in general is really confident, but he is confident with his character. And the reason why he's doing this in the first place, the love, the connections that he is making with the friends along the way, not just Noodle, but a couple of other really enjoyable, fun characters. Kind of reminds me of those side characters in Paddington. They'll pop up and you just want more of them. You want to know more about them, and the movie gives you just enough. That was really fun and surprising. But also, Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa. Admittedly, not the best special effects I've ever seen in my life, but I do believe it works. And that role in this film, it was actually quite charming. Speaking of Oompa Loompas and music and things that you will recognize from Willy Wonka, lots of nods, lots of beautiful nods in this movie, and they didn't feel tacked on. They didn't feel like, oh, we got to put that in there just because it's an Easter egg. No, it's working as the movie's going, and it's all coming together quite nicely. Now, by the time we get to the end, there are a couple of elements that feel just rushed, right? It's like all of this is building up, and then all of a sudden, it's kind of over, and I do wish we would have wrapped it up a bit better. There are also some jokes in here that didn't quite land. It's like they're going something. There's one bit that continues throughout the entire film. Actually, there's two bits. One bit works really well. The other one, I'm just kind of rolling my eyes by the end. So not all of the humor landed. I do wish the jokes would have worked a bit more at times, but maybe they'll work well for kids, and there should be families going to see this film. And some other characters that I didn't mention, Keegan-Michael Key. He's funny. He's always funny. The film is lively, and as someone who is not the world's biggest fan of musicals, or didn't really need another Wonka movie, or questioned Timothée Chalamet in the role, not everything thrived. Not everything was perfect, but the movie delivers, and it provides a good time in the theater. And frankly, with the blockbuster, that's all you can ask for nowadays. Before I give you my score, were you looking forward to this? Because I wasn't. And what's your biggest surprise of the year so far? Wonka may just be in the conversation for me. Never doubt Paul King. Wonka is a quirky and colorful musical featuring more than a few moments that will have fans smiling from ear to ear. It lives in a world all its own, but there are plenty of heartfelt nods. It is a bit too silly at times, but so much fun and full of life. Let me know if you think this movie is going to be for you, or if you're taking your family this holiday weekend. I am excited to go and see this in the theater with my family, maybe during Christmas, but there's a lot of movies to see and review. I'm watching The Color Purple. I watched Poor Things already, and plenty more films. Maybe I should just go see Godzilla again, because that was great. Thanks for watching. See you soon.